In recent years, controversy surrounding rap music has been in the forefront of the American media. From the hype of the East Coast-West Coast rivalry to the demonization of modern music in the wake of school shootings in Littleton, Colorado. It seems, however, critics are quick to point out the violent lyrics of some rappers. They are missing the point of the messenger. Rap, like other forms of music, cannot be understood unless it's studied without the frame of its historical and social context. Today, rap music reflects its origin in the hip-hop culture of young, urban, working-class African Americans. Its roots in the African oral tradition, its function as a voice of an otherwise underrepresented group, and as its popularity has grown, its commercialization and appropriation by the music industry. Hip-hop music is generally considered to have been pioneered in New York's South Bronx in 1973 by Jamaican-born Kool DJ Herc at a Halloween dance party thrown by his younger sister. Herc used an innovative turntable technique to stretch a song's drum break by playing the break portion of two identical records consecutively. The popularity of the extended break lent its name to breakdancing, a style specific to hip-hop culture, which was facilitated by extended drum breaks played by DJs at New York dance parties. By the mid-1970s, New York hip-hop scene was dominated by the seminal turntablist DJ Grandmaster Flash, African Bambaataa, and Herc. The rappers of Sugar Hill Gang produced hip-hop's first commercially successful hit, Rapper's Delight, in 1979. Rap itself, the rhymes spoken over hip-hop music, began as a commentary on the ability or skills of a particular DJ while that DJ was playing records at a hip-hop event. MCs, the forerunners of today's rap artists, introduced DJs and their songs and often recognized the presence of friends in the audience at hip-hop performances. Their role was carved out by popular African American radio disc jockeys in New York during the late 1960s, who introduced songs and artists with spontaneous rhymes. The innovation of MCs caught the attention of hip-hop fans. Their rhymes lapped over from the transition period between the end of one song and the introduction of the next to the songs themselves. Their commentaries moved solely from a DJ's skills to their own personal experiences and stories. The role of an MC in performances rose steadily, and they began to be recognized as artists in their own right too. The local popularity of the rhythmic music served by DJs at dance parties and clubs, combined with an increase in b-boys, breakdancers, and graffiti artists, and the growing importance of MCs, created a distinctive culture known as hip-hop. For the most part, hip-hop culture was defined and embraced by young, urban, working-class African Americans. Hip-hop music originated from a combination of traditionally African American forms of music, including jazz, soul, gospel, and reggae. It was created by working-class African Americans who, like Herc, took advantage of available tools like vinyl records, turntables, to invent a new form of music that both expressed and shaped the culture of Black New York City youth in the 1970s. While rap's history appears brief, its relation to the African oral tradition, which provides rap with much of its current social significance, also roots rap in a long-standing history of oral historians, lyrical fetishism, and political advocacy. At the heart of the African oral tradition is the West African idea of Namo. In Malayan, Dogon cosmology, Namo is the first human, a creation of the supreme deity, Ama, whose creative power lies in the generative property of the spoken word. As a philosophical concept, Namo is the animative ability of words and the delivery of words to act upon objects given life. The significance of Namo in the African oral tradition has given power to rappers and rap music within many African American communities. Rap's common designation as CNN for Black people may result from the descendants of rappers from griots, respected African oral historians and praise singers. Griots were the keepers and purveyors of knowledge, including tribal history, family lineage, and news of births, deaths, and wars. Traveling griots spread knowledge in an accessible form, the spoken word, to members of tribal villages. Similarly, in the United States, many rappers create songs that, through performances and records, spread news of their daily lives, dreams, and discontents outside of their immediate neighborhoods. Rappers are viewed as the voice of poor, urban African American youth, whose lives are generally dismissed or misrepresented by the mainstream media. They are the keepers of contemporary African American working class history and concerns. Additionally, rap's potential for political advocacy stems from the function of its predecessors, African American rhyming games, as forms of resistance to systems of subjugation and slavery. Rhyming games encoded race relations between African American slaves and their white masters in a way that allowed them to pass the scrutiny of suspicious overseers. Additionally, rhyming games allowed slaves to use their creative intellect to provide inspiration and entertainment. For example, by characterizing the slave as a rabbit and the master as a fox. The Rabbit Tales disguised stories of slaves outwitting their masters and escaping plantations behind the facade of a comical adventure. Hip-hop journalist David D. connects the African oral tradition to modern rap. You see, the slaves were smart and they talked in metaphors. They would be killed if the slave masters heard them speaking in unfamiliar tongues. So they did what modern-day rappers do. They flexed their lyrical skills. Rap has developed as a form of resistance to the subjugation of working-class African Americans in urban centers. Though it may be seen primarily as a form of entertainment, rap has the powerful potential to address social, economic, and political issues and act as a unifying voice for its audience. Rap shares its roots with other forms of traditionally African American music, such as jazz, blues, and soul,